If you're watching this video, you're likely an oboe player who's either buying reeds from somebody else, either the store or buying them handmade from another oboist, or you make your own reeds. Or maybe you're somewhere in between and you still buy reeds, but you also make your own or are learning how to make them. So we all go through this stage, this whole process, from beginner to intermediate to advanced. And if you're a brand new beginner, you're likely buying reeds because it takes a long time to really learn how to make reeds and how to be self-sufficient and enjoy what you're playing on. Now for me, I started playing the oboe a little later in high school. I started on a different instrument previously. So I waited until, I was 16 when I started the oboe, and then I started making reeds the later half of my 18th year. So about 2 years in, and that for me worked really well. And so I spent the next 4 years really learning to perfect that craft and make my own. Not without some tears and struggle, because it does take time and it takes a lot of just patience and trust in yourself and a lot of hard work. But, you know, these days I've made reeds for so long that I don't cry over them anymore. I know that sounds silly if you've never cried over a reed, but if you have a concert and you're relying on yourself to make your reed and you don't like what you have, then it can be very emotional because you want to do a good job and you want to sound good. So yeah, I think it's important to have great reeds all the time, whether that's buying them from someone else or making them yourself. Or better yet, if you don't have a whole lot of time, it's good to have the knowledge to be able to adjust the reeds that you do purchase, to be able to craft them to your voice. When you purchase reeds from somebody else, you're really relying on what they send you. So it could be really good or it could be really bad. I mean, maybe they made the reed over on the West Coast and you live on the East Coast, which is a totally different climate, or you're in a high altitude climate, or just wherever you are, there are going to be variations based off of the weather and things going on around you. Also, there's preferences between players. Some people like an easier, freer blowing reed, and some people like a harder, more resistant reed. So if you get an easier reed or a harder reed and it just doesn't work for you, it's hard to play, or maybe you can't control it because the vibrations are just too crazy, wouldn't it be great to be able to fix that and know what to do to just tweak it a little bit so that you'll be more comfortable on it? That's why I think it's really important that everyone learn the basics of reed making and learn how to adjust and troubleshoot reeds that come your way. Now, of course, if you have the time, I'm always going to recommend making your own reeds, right? But I'm realistic. I know that not everybody playing the oboe wants to learn, but also has the time to do it. But it really doesn't take a super long time to learn the basic skills. And I think it's just important for everyone to know. There comes a certain point in your playing when you crave something else. You want a different sound, or you want to be able to maybe add a little more response to your reed so you can play those really low Ds or low B flats that you have to play in your next concert. And if you're relying on a reed to be sent to you or that you purchase from the store and maybe it doesn't articulate enough and it's hard to get those notes out, then you're going to be a little frustrated, I'm sure. And it could be a great reed. It just might not be what you need for that piece. So that's why I'm going to encourage you to start to evaluate the reeds you're buying, or maybe the reeds you have in your case that you've made, and ask yourself what you want them to be. I mean, how do you want them to be different? Maybe you love them and that's fantastic, but maybe they're not quite what you want. Now, in the next month, I'm going to be putting out something very exciting. I'm actually going to be doing a beginner reed making course. So this is for everyone who has no idea what they're doing. So you can be an absolute beginner. You can have no tools at all or know even where to get them. And this is perfect for you because I'll start right at the very beginning, starting with what to get. And we'll go through all of the steps together. Maybe you're already making your own reeds, but you're a little stuck at some steps of the process. Maybe it's finishing the reed. Maybe the reeds are just really hard and you can't quite get the vibrations in, but you've got the knife technique down. That's great. This will actually help you too, because I've seen firsthand just lots of folks have a small little thing early on in the process, perhaps with blank tying, where something's going wrong. Maybe the reed's actually not sealing. So if you keep working on a reed that doesn't seal, that leaks, and you try to play it or finish it down the road, some notes are just not going to come out. And it's going to be a little difficult to play. So sometimes finding those little small details that you might be missing earlier on in the process can really help you and fix your reed making and really help your reeds be better. So this course could be for you as well if you want to see my process from the absolute beginning. But if you are interested, you can find the link to the waitlist below and just go ahead and hop on there and I'll let you know as soon as the doors are open. I'm going to be doing an early bird sign up and I'll send it out first to those on the wait list, and there'll be some special bonuses for folks who join from that list. So let me know below if you're interested in learning. Maybe if you're stuck somewhere and we can troubleshoot. I'm always happy to help. So until next time, bye.